dive into the papers, the big stories, the headlines making the rounds here on Smooth 98.1. This is freshly pressed on a hump of the week, Wednesday morning. Welcome into another installment of the show, a Wednesday installment of the show. Great to be here with you. My name is Ayokunmi, and we're going to be taking a look at some of the major stories from the biggest papers in the country. We'll get analysis, we'll get your messages, your contributions, your thoughts, perspective, opinions on what we'll be talking about. So please do join us on YouTube. Join us on WhatsApp as well. Let's make it a robust back and forth. The WhatsApp number is 0911 999 0981 0911 999 That is the WhatsApp number. Now, YouTube, you can find us streaming live. Yes, we're back live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Alrighty, joining me to take a look at the stories and give the analysis, break it all down, make sense of it all. Two fine gentlemen on Zoom this morning, Lakunle, Yusuf, and Devoe, Okorie. Lakunle, good morning to you. Great to have you on the show.
Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Devoe. I thought that our unionist will be in the house again this morning, but he's not here. Good morning, everywhere you're hearing us. And yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Devoe, good morning to you. How are you doing today?
Morning, world. Morning, Lagos. Smooth. AY, Lakunle. Eku, Ejanla. Eku, Ejanla.
AKA Big Fish. Well, I'm actually in the mood for some fish and chips right now. That's not a bad thing to think about. Anyway, we shall begin this morning, Devoe. Let's head to Makoko. We're taking the story out of the punch. And the Lagos State House of Assembly on Tuesday, that's yesterday, ordered an immediate halt to the demolition of structures in Makoko and adjoining waterfront communities in the Yaba local government area of the state. Now, the directive followed a meeting with representatives of the affected communities held at the Lateef Jakonde Auditorium in the Assembly Complex out there in Alausa in Ikeja. The chairman of the ad hoc committee set up by the Speaker of the House, Noheem Adams, announced the decision while reading the resolutions that were reached at the meeting. Well, we've been keeping an eye on what's been going on in Makoko with demolitions and everything in between. But it's interesting that a directive has come from the State House of Assembly, but I'm pretty sure that there were some court orders that were not adhered to. So it's interesting to see that these orders coming from the House of Assembly, will they hold any water? And where are we even going when it comes to these sort of directives? Devoe.
Yes, that's where the Ejanla comes in. Let's know who is actually behind this directive. And I have to say this, right? This Makoko issue is not new. It won't be the first, it won't be the last. Lagos State is becoming, that's the Lagos State government, is becoming notorious for its gentrification attempts. Let me explain what that big word means, gentrification. Gentrification is new generation. It means to revolutionize, okay? So what normally happens in most cities globally have noticed that modern cities might have areas within the city that have either become like ghettos or have
Mm,
not been properly developed. In most big cities, call anyone around the world, it's not new. You have very developed areas and you have some areas that are underdeveloped. So what those cities do is to pass that area through gentrification. They kind of create policies to attract investors to come and put in their money and bring that place up to speed. Now, there's nothing wrong in gentrification. It's all in the name of development. However, gentrification does not warrant, neither is it an excuse to abolish the poor or to insult or to treat them like non-entities. Now, I expect Lagos State government to have, if you see the master plan for Makoko, it's like another banana island right across, just in front of Yaba. Hello. It's like another banana island, seafront, sea view properties right in front of Yaba. But before you make that move, for those people who had lived there, you should have relocated them. Even though Lagos is a
right.
small state, there are enough places, locations to have relocated these Makoko people. Now, we're saying the same thing over and over. We don't need all this drama each time. You had plans for Oroshoki. Why didn't you just do the right thing? Did you have to wait until they blocked the road, started protesting? tear gassing. Why do we behave like backward people in this? I don't understand. That same Makoko, for those of you who travel that Yaba leg, okay, if you're going off the third mainland, you will see that the sawmill that had existed there for over 30 years, they relocated them to Ikosi. Do you understand? It took a while, but it was done. Even the what do you call it? Computer village in Ikeja. That's
Yeah.
yes, at some points became a monstrosity for them to control. They are now currently working on the relocation. That's supposed to. I think it's after Iba. Sorry, is it Iba or Iba for? I can't remember. However, the point is, this same thing happened in when VI was being built. This Victoria Island that people enjoy and call Sisieko. This used to be a ghetto called Morocco. It was a whole city on itself. Lakunle, I don't even know if you ever went to Kuramo. For those who remember the days of Kuramo, enough ginger and tea to go round. So the point is, when they were to build VI, they moved the residents of the then Morocco to Jakonde. That's where all the people from Jakonde came from. They used to live closer. Now, as the city is developing, the point is, it is not just to be relocating people. What are the plans that this same state assembly has for low-income earning people? Since Jakonde's and what's his name, that estate in Ikeja, please remind me. There's one big low-income earning estate in Ikeja.
Yeah, it's not coming to me right now. It'll come eventually.
Yes, it starts with a G. That estate was built by the then military rulers to accommodate low-income earning civil servants. But it seems these days there's no plan coming from government that is supposed to address low-income. Don't they deserve houses as well? So my point is this: it has turned into, because there's profit involved, Lagos State has forgotten its first responsibility of equal welfare catering to its own residents. Might I say, please, we will not accept anybody who comes to the table to say that the people of Makoko are not tax paying because they're poor, they live on top of water. Secondly, for those who say they're not Nigerians, excuse me, people who have been with you for the past 40, 50 years are citizens. That is what you call citizenship by what do you call it? By association. They've been there since. We've been going there to buy fish, enough ejanla and seafood. Many what do you call it? International organizations have been going there, yes, to take pictures. They even called it the Venus of Lagos. Yet the state government did not find how to find a proper plan for these people. It's not their faults. It's not their faults. The state government should act like human beings. Stop this because you're more powerful, because they can't do anything about it. You go and lie to them and tell them it's because you were encroaching on what do you call it, power lines, etc. and co. It's all right if you want to relocate them, but be humane, be decent about it. Don't treat them like
Right.
they're rats. They are human. I expect much
No,
more
right.
from Lagos state government. And the last thing I would say is this: in their bid to gentrify or develop Lagos, it's not supposed to be only for the rich. Right across, what do you call it? I hear currently they're about to gentrify Obalede. They're also about to gentrify some aspects of Lagos Island. Can we start developing these places that will affect both the rich and poor? It's not only the rich that should enjoy development. Development should cut across equally. Thank you.
So quickly, I think that I want to say that while we tell governments slow down, think about this thing properly before you do them. So you have just demolished some significant parts of Oroshoki. Why don't you develop that place first? Let people see it that, okay, you really mean you want to develop this place and make it look new city compliant, so that when you go to somewhere else, there'll be some element of trust that, okay, it's what they said they wanted to do that they have done. That's one. Second, I see that there's nothing wrong with having such places even within a new city. You don't wipe off your entire history because you want to regenerate. Whether we like it or not, that Makoko place is part of the history of Lagos. It is people live on water, yes, but what can we do to make how they live in that place better? That is what I thought should be the place to start. Not that we just go there and do some form of blanket demolition because, okay, people that, yes, I understand people also as citizens also we overstep a lot of things, we take a lot of things for granted, we do a lot of things that are not what's it called, urban, whatever, compliance, yes. But I would have thought that as a government, the first thing will be okay. So you have now have 5 houses here instead of 2. How can we reduce it to 2? Or how can we redesign this so that these 5 houses can fit into those kind of thinking is what I think that we should have started from. And again, the House of Assembly, where were they when the notices went out? They cannot say they didn't know that the notices that they were going to demolish those places went out. They cannot say they didn't know 2 weeks ago, 1 month ago that the demolition have started. What made them change their mind to call this order now? So those are the dynamics that I think that we should also put on the table for consideration in all of this.
Yeah, but if I may add, in the case of the carpenters, the sawmill in that same Makoko, they relocated them to Ikosi. They prepared a place for them, and it took 2 years. Go and check the papers. It took 2 years before that relocation took place. There are still waterway locations along the seaside and also even the lagoon side, going to Ikorodu, Agbawa, etc., into Ekiti State or is it Ogun State?
Ondo,
Lagos State can relocate, or if they prefer to take them to the Badagry side, Lagos State could have relocated these people within the space of 1 year, done sufficient compensation, and then carry out your demolition. Come on now, it's not rocket science.
These things definitely are not rocket science. It's so very interesting. I remember, I think it was August 2025, there was an injunction halting these demolitions, but they still carried on. They still carried on anyways, regardless. And it makes absolutely no sense. I mean, now the House of Assembly has stepped in. So are we saying that the orders of the courts do not hold any water? Not the first time such a thing is going to happen, but it's such an unfortunate thing that we're talking about this in 2026. Let's take a brief pause. When we come back in Lakunle, I will be coming to your desk, well, to both your desks with this next story. We're talking about sachet alcohol consumption. That is something that we need to take into consideration here. Smooth 98.1, freshly pressed. To be back in a moment.
People have sponsor.
Well, for today, yeah.
Who is the sponsor?
Consolidated Hallmark Insurance.
How much are they paying you?
I have no idea.
Just to keep the lights on.
It's your show.
It's my show, yes, but I'm not head of XYZ.
I hope you people are not collecting our own part of that sponsorship. Well.
Am I the one collecting it? Am I the one?
They should negotiate some form of insurance into it for us.
This one that we're not drinking our tea.
They should insure our voices in case we lose the voice, so that they will pay us.
You get the voice is the cocoa. Anyways, we're back. So we need to go pa 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 pa.
Yeah, sure.
All right, welcome back into Freshly Pressed on the Hump of the Week, Wednesday morning here on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. It is 48 minutes past 7 a.m. Ayokunmi here. Alongside me are Devoe, Okorie, and of course Lakunle, Yusuf, for taking a look at the big stories in the papers and just trying to get some thoughts in on the matters. You also get to share your perspectives with us. You can do that on WhatsApp and on YouTube as well. On YouTube, we're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Please leave your comments right there. And you can join us on WhatsApp and send your messages in 0911 999 981. That's 0911 999 0981. All right, Lakunle, let us step into the punch. Where the story reads, Rivers and Lagos states lead in the consumption of alcoholic drinks sold in sachets and polyethylene bottles among minors and underage persons, according to a nationwide survey by the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and control. Now, according to NAFDAC, the study conducted in collaboration with the Distillers and Blenders Association of Nigeria and carried out by Research and Data Solutions Limited in Abuja surveyed 1,788 respondents across 6 states between June and August of 2021. Very interesting numbers coming out of this particular report. This is something that we need to be very worried about, don't you think?
Okay, so having been on either side, on both sides of the argument, so two arguments, the health concerns, then I don't even want to speak to a third side, which is probably personal to everybody. There is the health concerns and the raise the business concern. Just 2 days ago, the association of something blenders, whatever, they had a very long name like that, said that
Distillers and Blenders.
Yeah, said that there is a 4 billion naira industry in this sachet alcohol business. There is already a 4 billion naira industry. Is it 4 billion or 400 billion? There's a 4 and there's a billion. So that if government clamps down on it, it will throw so number of people into unemployment. It will do this, do that. Yes, that's taken. Despite all the noise, all the clamor for it is the economy is bad, this and that, the alcohol beverages companies in Nigeria today, end of every financial year, declare humongous profits. Now the concern, sorry?
Not always.
The concern for me here is basically much more on the health aspect. Where we think about the economy or economics of it, yes, it makes sense that we are employed, that. But then can we control access to these things? I know over time, since I was a child, there's always been laws, edicts, acts about where and how you can buy alcohol. Not available to people under 18, not to be sold in public parks, not to be sold in areas near schools, and so on and so forth. There was a time there was something they call, you only sell, when you go to places where they sell alcohol, you see something available on and off license. Whatever, I can't remember exactly what that means again. You can't, adults at the time I was a child were careful about who they sent to go and buy alcohol. You can't advertise until after a specific time on radio or TV of alcoholic beverages. But here we are today, just like the other vice that is called gambling. All of these things are staring us in the face. Everywhere you turn, you say these things. People who ordinarily should not be exposed to it are exposed to it. And let me just say something. Let me just quote something here. United Nations says that it causes 2.6 million global deaths annually. It increases the risk of cancer, liver disease, and cardiovascular issues. That it's a psychoactive drug, and it causes dependence. That means addiction. So when you look at all of these things, like United Nations have described alcohol to be, on the health basis, here where we are complaining about our already overstretched health system, the things we can avoid from adding to it includes how we consume alcohol. I'm not saying people shouldn't drink. Yeah, you can drink alcohol, but can we control access to it, especially with our young people? Here, United Nations says that it causes premature mortality, particularly among people aged 20 to 39. How is a 20-year-old already indulging in binge drinking, in drinking alcohol so much that it will cause his ill health? How? When? It doesn't happen
That's
in
a
1 year.
disturbing thing to think about.
Exactly. So those are the things that, again, what is our global national health plan? What is our global plan, social and what's it called? I can't pick the word to use for that. What is our plan about these things? Do we want to, because we want to make money and do business, we want to stretch other things that will cost the money you are making from that place, you spend it on taking care of yourself? So I think that there has to be a balance. We must have laws in place to make these things more sensible to people. What happens to these restrictions about making it accessible to people underage? You go everywhere today, the sachet thing, 50 naira, everybody has 50 naira. A 10-year-old has 50 naira in his pocket these days, and they can easily buy. You go to your motor parks, your shops, everywhere this thing is available. Can we control where you can buy it? Can we control who can buy? I think these are things that we can do. And I
Yeah.
know a
All
lot
right.
of people will talk about the money that they have been made. There's an issue about VAT that's been made from alcohol, how it is being shared. People are attracted to that money, yes. But there's a bigger problem on the side, and that's what I think we should focus on.
Yes.
Very important. Devoe.
Many of the questions he's raised have been answered by NAFTAC, actually. And being someone that has sold alcohol in large scale, let me add a bit to this conversation. The issue here is access. NAFTAC is not against alcohol drinking. They're not in any way, shape, or form trying to stop people from drinking.
Yeah.
What they're saying is that being sold in that small sachet, okay, toile, especially the one you see. If you remember, before sachet drinking, you used to have what do you call it? Those girls. Do they have a name for them? Those girls
I
at Motopath.
that, oh, that's Agbo and
Shepe,
so on and so forth.
Yes,
Shepe,
I
that's
tell
it, Lakunle.
Agbo, Shekpe, and Co. And what they'll do, they have a small cup, a short cup that they now measure and give you. And normally, if I remember, they used to sell it inside those disposable nylon bags. Then came the fancy sachets that made it very easy
They
to
call those
sell.
ones, they call it Fenuja.
Now, NAFDAC is saying that when it's sold in such a tiny shape and form, it's easy for young people, that's youth, students, etc., everywhere, to get a hold of it. That a student cannot carry a bottle, a 33-liter bottle, and escape. You will see it, whether they hide it in their pockets, etc., and co. You will see it. But this sachet is easy for them to hide and quickly slip into their tongues. Now, if you check the statistics coming from what they're showing that it's rampant in especially the urban cities like Kaduna, Lagos, Rivers. Yes. Now, my problem here is this argument is going to go on because whilst we're trying to create some kind of restriction here, okay, um, I think the alcohol industry will have to become innovative in how they're going to protect our children because this debate is right on both sides, okay? If you're not trying to stop my drinking, how are we going to prevent it from youths watching it? The same thing in TV, where we restrict minors from watching explicit graphic stuff, okay? The same way
Right.
the pharmaceutical industry has prescription drugs because of the potency. They're not just going to give it to you because you have cash if it doesn't come with the doctor's prescription. So I think the alcohol industry is going to have to think really deep about how they're going to save the youth population because the truth is this: um, NAFTAC has already come out directly to say that they cannot regulate the sale of this sachets to minors. That there's no
Mm,
way they can, because it's so consumable. There's no way they're going to come into your room. There's no way NAFTAC is going to stop the street sellers from distributing it. They just they don't have that capacity. So I'm asking the alcohol industry to wake up and do their job because we can't start saying that what is happening to our youths is does not matter. If you want a whole bunch of drunk youths, you better be mindful of what kind of society we will build if we don't find an innovative way to restrict that access.
all
It's
right, Devoe,
plainly
thank you for sharing
access.
those thoughts there. Yes, that access. And one thing that we struggle with as a country is plugging those sorts of holes. We struggle with that for such a very, very long time. I believe it's doable. It has to be doable because the consequences of not plugging those holes, I don't want to think about them. All right, gentlemen, before we wrap it up on the show, I just want you to just get your thoughts very, very, very quickly in on this story in the Vanguard, talking about the Senate. And the Senate has urged the FCTA, and all state governments to establish coordinated emergency referral and response systems linking public and private hospitals. This is as a result of the increased cases of medical emergencies, including snake bites, scorpion stings, poisoning, and so on and so forth. That's very, very quickly because of time. Lakunle, let me get your thoughts in first, and you will wrap it up for us.
Okay, so don't let us forget this matter is a response to a recent death recorded in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, of a young
Right.
lady who
Mm.
got bitten by a snake in her house. In her house. So, in fact, it was the story that made me realize that there's some form of a central sewage system in some parts of Abuja itself. Okay, so the arguments made by commentators was that the snake gained access into a house through that sewage system. However, that is true, but that's the story that the comments about it. And then again, so this matter of people going to hospital and being rejected or not being treated as emergency, that's another aspect of it to be thought about. And then what is the cost of storing this kind of drugs to the hospitals? Thinking about all the other things that surrounds ability to store and keep them potent when it is in need after a long time in storage. The next thing also to also worry about then is we have a National Vaccine Research Institute in Nigeria. What have we done? We have a number of different types of snakes in this country, poisonous, non-poisonous. We know them. What are we doing to get these snakes, study them, and know how we can treat the venoms? People will get bitten in their farms. Now it's coming into their homes, and so on and so forth. Or again, then there's one other thing that I also want to add is that what are we doing with our native knowledge of snake bites and how we treat these things in our traditional ways in every tribe and ethnic groups in Nigeria? In the comments about the aftermath of this lady's death, people that have come out to say, in my village, this is how we do it. In my village, this is how we do it. And everybody seems to know somebody who knows how to do it. What are we doing as a country to harness this knowledge, document it, and put it out there for people to learn to do things with these things? The typical Oyibo doctor who is most likely going to say it doesn't work. But if people say it works, have we tested it to put a fact to it that it does work or it does not work? It's not enough to just sit in those air-conditioned rooms and make this kind of calls. We need to be out there making these things happen. We have what's it called? A natural medicine something too. What are they doing in telling us that these natural methods or our traditional method also work? So those are the things that I can immediately say because of time. We can go on and on about this thing anyways.
Right, Devoe, you have what to chip in here?
I'm coming from a different angle. While the medical side will take a while, God has given us natural predators that help keep down snake population in the likes of animals called monitor lizards. I know many people like monitor lizards. They've learned about it in science school. And these days, it seems as if across the country, it has become a delicacy as bush meat. It is these monitor lizards that would have kept the snake population down in your houses because it's a tropical nation. We live with snakes. It's not today. I remember in secondary school, I was known as a snake killer, right? But the truth is, I can't be running around. I don't think I have that strength to be running around killing snakes anymore. Please stop eating monitor lizard. If you see monitor lizards in your house, give them food, allow them to thrive. These are the natural factors that God has given us to help us eat snakes and keep the snake population down. Maybe if we stop eating them, we will see less incidences of snake bites in our country. Stop eating monitor lizards as snake bites. This is where regulation should come in. They need to regulate the bush meat industry
eaters,
because a lot of our natural ecosystem factors that work for our good, we have been eating it and smiling. Now we're suffering because of the upsurge of snakes all around.
And again, quickly, don't let us also forget, snakes ordinarily don't go to built-up areas. It is also part of our environmental degradation, approaching where they naturally stay. The swamp waters, everywhere where we are filling up to build houses and so on and so forth, is also the reason they are leaving those places where they are trying to run away. They are looking for other places to go to. So when we stop and we look at our green areas and we leave them as they are, these animals ordinarily will not come out of there, except we have gone there to go and disturb their natural habitat. We also need to think
All right,
about
Lakunle.
that. There are natural ways to stop these things, like Devoe has said.
All right, let me take messages. Benito from Lagos says, "Good morning, crew. On Makoko, please note that the Netherlands is a country with a country that are below sea level, but the city and country has been built in a way to allow water channels and not drown it. Please, Lagos State is doing gentrification in Makoko for the rich of the state. Second base, Jerry, like Fela says." All right, Sunday from Surulere says, "On the sachet consumption of alcohol, I agree that it should be banned. Have you seen the alcohol levels in those sachets? Most people, including school children, just walk around the streets drinking alcohol because it is everywhere and anywhere because of these sachets. Some even mix it with other sweet drinks just to hide them.
If
I
we ban it, we'll create
I,
another problem.
I
My
disagree with
opinion.
Lakunle in alcoholic beverage companies declaring humongous profits. The industry declined in recent years, and most of those companies only survived because of price increases, which also impacted affordability. For me, sachet consumption of alcohol is a no. All right, that's thank you for your perspectives there. Sunday Shea Wadiesa says, "Good morning, gentlemen.
If
For the
we
issue of
ban
snake
it,
bites,
Ayo,
story for
if we
another day,
ban
Lakunle.
it, we'll create another problem.
That's a
My
story for
opinion.
another day.
Yeah.
All right. Shodias says, for the issue of snake bites and similar emergencies, a country with a poor primary healthcare system is in trouble. That's supposed to be the nearest point of care for everyone. It should be equipped and properly staffed. I agree with you on that one. Michael Akinremi says, the impact on the ecology of that area is riverine. Where is the research done? That area feeds Lagos with seafood. Also, what's the impact on the livelihood, and would it not have been better to even create a fishery ecosystem there to boost the Lagos economy? This government, to me, is just short-sighted. This is Shola, who says, "Thanks so much for your passionate analysis of the Makoko issue. They are even doing gentrification for Jakonde residents in Lekki. They have asked them to leave. Imagine relocating people you already relocated. What a shame." Jai Olunloa, good morning. He says, the low-cost housing estate is Oluwole at Ogba, built by Brigadier Mubolaji Johnson. All right, thank you, Ajay, for that. This is Tony Marine Beach, who says, "Gone are the days when political office holders treated common citizens as humans. Our so-called democracy has undergone a negative transformation. It's now more like an autocracy. Maybe in time to come, these proposed projects will add up to the ones considered for forfeiture, like that of the Malamis, Emefieles, and co. We wait to see." I just need to wrap that one up there. Joseph Menier says, "The bitter truth is that Lagos state government has recently embarked on systematic and upgraded tactics of land grabbing. They started with Maroko years ago, we're at Makoko recently. Even their ministries and agencies that would even write stop work because of either repainting or carrying out maintenance on the properties because of monies they want to collect. We appeal to them to have human faces and care for humanity." All right, your Feel Good Radio friend on YouTube says, "Good morning, gentlemen, all the way from Yanagua. I support stringent regulations for distribution of alcohol. Whatever needs to be done to secure the health of Nigerians and our youth um, should be done and done well." All right, so thank you so much for that. We need to wrap it up, man. Time to go. Lakunle, Devoe, thank you so very much for joining me this morning. Lakunle.
Thank you, Ayo, for having me. Fela said, ban, destroy is what sweetens the stomach of our government all the time. And I don't agree that anything a lot of things should be banned. Banning is not a solution to anything. Let us work towards regulating access to these things. And like every other thing, our government, please treat us as human beings. Don't think that it is the end of the world because you're in government. It's also transient. You would live one day and you will be at the mercy of somebody else who replaces you in government.
All right, thank you, Lakunle. Devoe.
All right, stop eating monitor lizards and we'll reduce snake bites.
All right, thank you, Devoe, for that very interesting perspective there. It's been a pleasure having you on the show as well as you out there listening to us and sending your messages in. It has been a pleasure, big pleasure. My name is Ayokunmi. And keep it tuned to the Smooth Breakfast, 8:15. It's the sporting side of life as we head into the locker room.
By the way,